Whenever Tucker and I go for a walk at the park, people always comment on his beautiful coat. He is a handsome boy. We bathe him in the Coat Defense Sensitive Skin Shampoo, and it really helps to keep his coat soft, shiny, and fresh. In between, we use the Coat Defense Daily Preventative Powder. This powder acts as a dry shampoo and actually repels dirt, and it eliminates odor. It comes in a refillable, convenient shaker, and Tucker gets so excited when it's time for his brush and his powder. He stays cleaner, fresher, and I'm just a happier dog mama thanks to Coat Defense. Try it out and let me know what you think. You can visit coatdefense.com and receive 15% off your purchase when you use the code MOMMA15. That's MOMMA 15. It's official. I've got all my girlfriends hooked on bare-face toning pads. I knew they'd be thanking me once they tried these powerhouse treatment pads that are packed with skincare acids, antioxidants, and hydrating ingredients to tackle dullness, rough texture, and breakouts. They enhance the performance of all my other products, and I've noticed my makeup just goes on a little more smoothly. If you're ready to switch up your skincare routine, try pairing them with Overachiever, bare-faced 10-in-1 serum for a simple but effective routine. Don't forget to grab 15% off your first order with the code MOMMA15, that's MOMMA 15 at barefaced.com. How do you raise one of the greatest NFL running backs of all time? You stay chill and out of the way. We loved meeting Tonya Johnson and hearing about Saquon Barkley's journey from a little boy in the Pee Wee Leagues to the Giants, to the Philadelphia Eagles, to Super Bowl champion. From humble beginnings, Saquon's family has been along for the ride from day one. We caught up with his mom, Tonya, just after returning from this year's Super Bowl in New Orleans. So Tonya, I'm excited to get to meet you today, and you guys are coming off of a pretty darn exciting high of getting to be at the Super Bowl and this whole journey. Tell me about what last week was like.
Exhausting. Exhausting. It was fun though. It was fun. It was exciting. Exciting for the players, exciting for Saquon, and exciting for us, just to see them go out there, do what they do, and bring home that championship.
Yeah. Was that your first Super Bowl to attend?
First, we went every season, I should say, we went to Super Bowl. We went out to wherever Super Bowl was at. And that was because like Saquon had like his endorsement deals. So, we always traveled with him. But he always stated, I will never attend a Super Bowl game unless I'm in it. So for the last 6 years, we've been to every state that Super Bowl was in. And the day of Super Bowl we'd be on a plane coming home while everybody's at the game. But he stated he would never attend a Super Bowl game unless he was in it.
Wow. Do you think maybe it was just bad luck or something?
I don't know. He said he didn't see no need to. The only time he wanted to see that, be there, be in the presence as if he's on that field.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was the journey for the whole family? Because I think what's so interesting when you have a kid who gets to experience something like that, you're all on the ride, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he makes sure it's me, his dad, his siblings. We had Anna's mom, dad, her two siblings. So yeah, we all went out there for support and to just experience the experience with him.
Yeah. You had I saw the blazer, you had the custom blazer. It said like Mama B, Ren, son. Is that one of your quotes? Like have you yelled Ren, son his whole life as a running back?
No, so actually the lady Laura put that on. What happened was I was telling my daughter, I said, oh, I would like something made, I'm always with the regular sweatshirts or my jean jackets and stuff. So she went on social media and she put that up. And then my sister-in-law's aunt, my sister-in-law's nephew, excuse me, he reached out and he's like, oh, the congresswoman, I think former congresswoman, but Susan Wild is trying to get in touch with you. She have 3 people who wants to make you a jacket. And then reached back out to her. She's like, this one is the one I think you should go with. And once me and her started speaking and communicating, texting, and she's like, yeah, I have a store in Bethlehem. And when she said that, I know exactly what store, because every time you go by that store in Bethlehem, it has like all the glitter and glamour in the window. I said, I know exactly where your store is. So it was fun. She added the Run Son. And I just gave her full creativity with the jacket. I just told her what I wanted. I wanted Mama B. I wanted 2.6. And then anything else, she can go ahead and have fun with it.
Yeah, oh, that's so much fun. I'm sure some special just to have something custom, to kind of honor you as the mom of this star running back for sure. So you are a mom of five. We hear Saquon's name out there, but there's five. Where is he in the lineup of kids?
He's so he's a third child.
Okay. And
Hmm.
he has twin younger sisters, right?
Sister and brother.
Tell me about the first time you remember Saquon taking an interest in football. Like, how did that start?
So I'm not the sports person, and I'm not like I don't look at football. I only look at it if when my son is playing or any of my children whenever they was participating in their sports. That's all my husband. Saquon used to sit there when he was younger and look at football with him and just took a big interest in it, and it was like, oh, I'm gonna do that. He's like, I want to do that. I want to do that. And my husband will have him with him looking at all the games. And then he put him in little leagues, little different leagues. He first started with Allentown A's because we was living in the Allentown area. And then we moved over to Copley and he put him in hockey. And so he officially really started there. And then from there went to Whitehall, but he took an interest in. I mean, my husband used to have him sit on his lap as a 2, 3 years old, looking at TV with him. And Saquon was one of those kids that would sit still when he was a baby. So, and just with his pacifier in his mouth, because he had the pacifier until he was 5. So
There's the inside scoop we needed. He was attached, huh? So the Pee Wee football, I guess, started pretty young for him,
it
right?
did,
Was he like
yeah.
7, 8 years old?
Yep.
Was there anything that you saw in him even then when you compared him to the average, 7, 8 year old on the field that you could see he had a little extra gumption or drive or was really good?
No, I mean, I was just amazed, but like my husband would be the one that would take him to Pee Wee footballs. And most of the time that when I went with them or I took him was because my husband was at work. So I was, schedule whoever was home at the time. But then when I will go to his games, and I'm like, okay, this little boy really know how to play football. He really likes this.
Yeah.
And just dominating when he was little like that, but he didn't really get the chance. There was a lot of politics involved with it. The kids who parents was actually like coaches and stuff like that was the ones who got the shine, as you should say.
Yeah. Was he a little running back then? Like even
Hmm.
was he just super fast and that was his position?
That was always his position.
How much fun has it been for the siblings to get to be a part of this? I'm sure they're incredibly proud to be his sibling.
They are, and they close knit. I mean, they hang out other than the football fields, anything football related, they just they all really tight. And my younger son and Saquon, they're tight. They always together, so training, working out, things that they do.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you think are some of the things that you, as a mom, like what were your non negotiables as far as raising the kids and what mattered to you and, who they were and in their, whether it was being optimistic or being a hard worker, how they treated other people?
All of that has all of it mattered to me. My thing with them was more or less be themselves. That was it. Be themselves. Whoever you decide to be, whoever you feel you are, stay true to that. And treat other people the way you want to be treated. That is the most important thing in life. If you treat people mean, then do not be mad when someone reciprocate the same thing. It was always, and be honest. Never be afraid to speak. Never be afraid to, it was nothing they couldn't come and tell us. Nothing. Because we was transparent with them about our lives. So, in our growing up and childhood. So
Yeah. The early days weren't easy, right? You were trying to raise kids in the Bronx before you kind of made another choice and you guys moved. Tell me about those difficult days.
those days was, I mean, we didn't, out in Pennsylvania is different. Like, it took me until I was 30 to get my driver's license. You know what I mean? And I still don't like to drive. I just got it to get it off my bucket list. They called me the emergency driver. I'll drive in a case of emergency. But we had no need for that. And everything was just so fast paced. So when we moved to Pennsylvania, for me, it actually what I kind of struggled a little bit because I got homesick and it was like so we made sure we took the kids back and forth to New York all the time. For summer, we always was there every New Year's. We spent the Christmas there. But moving out of New York, I feel was the best thing. I always knew as a child, I just felt I had no place there. And I felt like I didn't belong there. I wish my parents would have had moved us, but that's not the way it was meant to be. But I always knew if I ever get the opportunity to get out of here, I'm getting out of here.
When you were raising the kids there, what were they the reason that you wanted to move to maybe more of a maybe family centric area, somewhere that felt a little more comfortable to raise five kids?
Right, and
Were
a
they
little more
the reason?
safe, a little more safe. Yeah, that was the reason. I just wanted them to be a little more safe. I just wanted to be able to like catch a hold of them, at an early age. And then also, I had a child. My first child is not my husband's child. I had my first child when I was 15. So when we moved, he was a teenager, and I'm like, yeah, I got to get out of here. I got to get him out of here. That move became once the opportunity arose, it became very easy for me. It's like
Yeah.
it was a no brainer.
When you see the things that your kids have been able to take part in or accomplish, or the lives that they are, out there living, do you look back and think that was the right choice? Like we did
I
the right.
do. I do. New York, like I said, was more of a fast pace. And I won't say that New York didn't have opportunities or anything, but it just seemed everything was moving quickly. It was like I had a baby at 15, blink my eyes, he was a teenager. Just, everything was just moving too quick. Excuse me. And these kids don't come with a manual, you know what I mean? Like, we're growing and raising ourselves as well as while we're raising these children. We're learning. I tell my kids all the time, listen, y'all did not come with a manual. You know what I mean? You can't think that we know everything or that we cannot make no mistakes. That's just not part of life. You know what I mean? You're gonna make mistakes, and there's no book out here. I don't care who writes self-help books. I don't care who write how to raise a child. I'm not interested in your book because that's based on how you raised your children. Not how I should raise mine,
Yeah.
because
And I
everybody's
think there's
experiences is
so much
different.
value in being honest with our kids too. Like what you just said, like we don't know it all. We're doing the best we can and we're
Yep.
learning together, you know?
I told my kids, we grew up with y'all. You know what I mean? We did. We still growing.
Yeah,
Still growing. We learn new things every day, you know?
exactly. When was it, would you say, that you saw something in Saquon along his either athletic or personal journey when you were like, he's got something different in him? Like if he decides he wants to be, he's going to be successful.
It's determination, even as a child. And Saquon was the type that he was very inquisitive. He always asked questions, and your answer was never suffice for him. Like, it's like, okay, why? And it's like, I just answered you. And it's like, when? It's like, come on, and then he'll look it up on his own too. And then if he found anything that you was wrong at, he's gonna come back and be like, oh, see, looks, and no, no, you know. So we seen that at an early age, and it was just like his determination. He got up every day. He went to weightlifting every day, and I mean, didn't get home till late. No, but he also did, and I always try to tell people too. He participated in football tremendously, 100% without a doubt. But he also was still a kid, so they'd be like, "Oh, everybody acts like how was his childhood?" He did the same thing every other kid did. He played outside with his friends. They played manhunt. I'm yelling, it's dark. Why y'all wait till it's dark to want to go play manhunt? They throwing eggs at people's houses, just running around, playing whatever the games they was playing outside. Then he did his kid thing. Ding
Yeah.
dong ditch. I'm arguing with parents, your sons and all their friends, ringing out bells and running. He did his kid thing. So I'm
Really
glad
normal.
that he was able to. Yeah, he was able to juggle both. It wasn't like we was those type of parents that you had some parents that want to live their lives through their kids. So when they put them in these sports, it's 100%. No, school, home, sports. There's no time for nothing else. They didn't get the experience being a child. They didn't get to do fun things. It was automatically about sports,
Yeah,
and
eat, sleep,
that's
live, and breathe it. Yeah.
yeah. And
So it was
those,
important to you that he had as normal of a childhood as
of
possible,
course,
but he also worked hard to be a good athlete.
of course, because they all tie hand in hand.
It's official. I've got all my girlfriends hooked on bare-face toning pads. I knew they'd be thanking me once they tried these powerhouse treatment pads that are packed with skincare acids, antioxidants, and hydrating ingredients to tackle dullness, rough texture, and breakouts. They enhance the performance of all my other products, and I've noticed my makeup just goes on a little more smoothly. If you're ready to switch up your skincare routine, try pairing them with Overachiever. Barefaced 10-in-1 serum for a simple but effective routine. Don't forget to grab 15% off your first order with the code MOMMA15, that's MOMMA 15, at barefaced.com.
I feel that when you place those things on your kids and you're like, this is what it's going to be, 100% no. School sports, and you don't let them become children. When they get older, you're not sure if they're doing it for themselves because they love the sport or they're doing it because they don't want to disappoint you. And then when they get of age, they no longer have interest in it because that wasn't their interest from the beginning.
And you see that, especially in youth sports and coming up.
hmm
I know you've seen those parents that,
My
it's all
my
about what the dad wanted or the mom's dream.
my younger grandson is he's 8. Yeah, he turned 8. He plays football, and we go to their tournaments. We go to the games, and it's like, why are y'all screaming at the kids like that? It's it's amazing. Like, really, this is how we talk to them. This is okay. They messed up, like, and we went to one of his tournaments, one of my grandson's tournaments, and Saquon attended that time, and he's like, "Ma," he said, "I remember Little League being like this," and I said, "Yeah, these parents is crazy."
Yeah.
Like, they are crazy. And they ready to fight on the field. They ready to fight each other. It's like, and the kids are sitting there laughing amongst each other, and y'all sitting there ready to fight each other. I don't get it. I'm glad we didn't have to go through that, and we won't, when we don't allow that for my grandson. It's like, no, because he's very good at football, but it's like, no, you're still gonna be a kid, and you're gonna try other sports as well because that may not be their niche.
Right, right. So when that grandson that you're talking about is good at football and he's playing, as a kid, and Uncle Saquon is on the sideline, what in the world is that like?
He has something to prove. He thinks he has something to prove, and it's like he's here as to support you. He's not here to critique you. He's not
Yeah,
here to. He's not your coach. He's
yeah.
here. He came. He had some time, and he's here to watch his nephew play.
And I'm sure it ups the cool factor for the grandson a little bit, though, right?
True. But my grandson is like, he's different because he's amazed by Saquon. Sometimes we have to like remind him, like you'll catch him like staring at him, and we have to remind him, like, you do know that's your uncle, right? Like,
Wow,
yeah. And it's
that's
like,
cute.
that's
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 cute.
your uncle. Yeah, it's crazy.
Who
He's
just
like,
happens to see, play in the NFL on Sundays on television, right?
mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many games do y'all make it to? You're very fortunate because he's actually at least in the area of the country that you
Yeah.
guys live in, right?
Right, right. So I mean, he's at the game going to Philly is actually further when we went to New York games.
Okay.
But we're very fortunate. I'm glad that he chose to play for the Eagles because we attend majority of all the games. We're there. Um, for the last 7 years he been in the league, we've been to majority all the games, even because we travel too. We go to the away games as well. And if it's either me and my husband, sometimes Anna. Well, majority of the time it was Anna with Jada, but then when she had SJ, she slimmer down a little bit. But me and my husband travels to all the games, and it was times even if my husband don't go out to the game, I'm there. It's just I just like to be there because when the one game when he got hurt, that was a game that I was not there, and just to see that on TV, it's like it just then I remember he played Dallas and he had got hurt in this game this particular time this year. I was at that game, so to get the phone call like, "Mom, come downstairs to the locker room," it was like I'm there. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I try to attend majority of all games, even away games, just so anything go wrong,
You're
just
there.
to be there for that support system.
Yeah, I was going to ask you how you handle. It's interesting having had the opportunity to interview a few NFL moms now, and the answers are always a little bit different. But how do you handle like either seeing the injury or the really hard hit or the things that would make all the moms, look away? And I mean, it's got to be somewhat nerve wracking.
Yes, especially when I'm at the games or whether I'm home and I'm looking at it on TV, I'm cursing. I'm like, don't get off my son. Don't touch my son. I'm like, I'll come on that field. And be like, where your parents at?
You go back to those little league pee wee football days, right?
I'm like, why you do that? I'm like, oh my gosh, here we go. No, I do. It's even when he jumps over people. This has been since high school, college, and it's like, you got to do that. Why? It's like I know that's just in him. But for me, jumping is never the problem. It's the landing that makes me
Mm,
nervous,
yeah, for
So
sure.
I'm like,
Yeah.
so, not all the time that can end very well, but I mean, knock on wood, it have. But it's just, I mean, why you do that? And then when I see him, I'd be like, come on, don't do that again. Like, you got to stop this. You got to stop this. And he just laughs at me.
So when you're like in the throes of motherhood, you're juggling raising 5 kids, all pretty close in age, like the whole thing. Was there ever a point when you thought about Saquon's future and even pictured him achieving this level of success in a professional sport?
Not until he got, not really out, and I won't lie and say, yes, I did. No, I did not. Like I said, everything just moved quickly. Raising 5 kids and you and your husband working, trying to make sure the kids is good, trying to maintain the bills, everything just going by. So when he was before he went to college, Saquon, you saw we sit there and say, we'll be in the living room, and he'll say, I'm gonna buy you a house. He's like, I'm going there. I'm going to the NFL. He's like, I'm going to play on those fields. And it's like, we should just look at him and be like, okay, Saquon. Be like, okay. And then I always laugh. I'll be like, well, you make sure that house, things like that. But really not until college. And it's like, okay, yeah, oh, he's going somewhere. You know what I mean?
So when
So,
he got a scholarship to get to Penn State, you thought this could pave the way for the future?
yeah, yeah. But like, sometimes you also got to keep in mind that I can't really just, you leave it up to him and the man upstairs. It's like, because you never know. All things, different things happen. You just got to take it one day at a time, step by step, and then see what the future holds. I can speak of, oh, I seen this, I seen that, and I predicted this. I live day by day,
Yeah. Yeah.
day by day, because tomorrow's not promised to us.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't know what God's plan is,
Mm.
that's for sure. And, we know he's got a plan for him, and that's good enough,
Right,
right?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah. Tell me about draft night. I want to hear about like what that was like when he's, I guess he's a junior in college at Penn State. He forgoes his senior year and he's in the NFL draft. Like, my goodness, I think I would have bit all my nails off that night.
It was nerve wracking, and I'm just sitting there, and I mean, just waiting, and it's like we already knew that this, because the ones who's gonna go like in higher pick is actually in, like, I would say, some like a green room, and
Are you there at the actual draft?
we was actually in the room with him, sitting at the table, just waiting, and with his agent, the family, his siblings. Um, then he got the, excuse me, I think Baker Mayfield went first, if I'm correct. And then Saquon went second. So it's like once that phone rang and he's like, yes, yes. And I'm like, and then his agent's like, I think it's the New York Giants because they was up on the clock,
Yeah.
so, and it's like, oh my gosh, it was just so, so proud. But he always knew, like, told him when he decided that he was going to declare, and forego his 4th year in college. It was like, I don't care what you do, you make sure and you promise me, and then I agree with you that you're gonna forego, um, you're gonna get your degree, And he's like, "Mom, I promise you." So he got his degree last May, I think.
Were you so proud?
Of course, of course. No, because football's not forever, and that college degree will hold a lot of weight after football is over.
Yeah. That's pretty admirable that he did that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Whenever Tucker and I go for a walk at the park, people always comment on his beautiful coat. He is a handsome boy. We bathe him in the Coat Defense Sensitive Skin Shampoo, and it really helps to keep his coat soft, shiny, and fresh. In between, we use the Coat Defense Daily Preventative Powder. This powder acts as a dry shampoo and actually repels dirt, and it eliminates odor. It comes in a refillable, convenient shaker, and Tucker gets so excited when it's time for his brush and his powder. He stays cleaner, fresher, and I'm just a happier dog mama thanks to Coat Defense. Try it out and let me know what you think. You can visit coatdefense.com and receive 15% off your purchase when you use the code MAMA15. That's MOMMA 15. I think I read or heard that your husband's actually a diehard Jets fan. And so
Yeah,
when he went to the Giants, that was a little controversial.
yeah. He was. It would have been a dream if he would have got drafted by the Jets, especially for my husband. So he used to be like, "I am not wearing nothing Giants. I'm not wearing nothing Giants. He was adamant about that. Every now and then he would throw on Saquon's jersey, from the Giants, but he's like, I don't represent the Giants. I represent my son. So if you do catch him, even with the Eagles, when we went to games and he'll have on different things because I'm like bossy. So like, okay, I got you this made. You're
You
gonna
got to wear
wear
the
it.
green.
You're gonna wear it. And he's like, it's not for them. It's for my son. Right. So everything, if anything and everything you see him do, if he do have something like sporting for the other team, it's not for the team.
Gonna
It's
be
for his son.
Saquon specific. Yeah. I mean, even after the Super Bowl, surely he became a fan of the Eagles after the Super Bowl.
He became a fan of the Eagles not to like, okay, now I'm gonna put it because he has a tattoo of the Jets on his arm. I'm gonna
But
put a tattoo
that
of the Eagles.
level of
That level,
fandom.
right? He's just more excited and happy of the Eagles wanted him. Well, the Eagles been wanting Saquon, but it didn't work out that way. That wasn't their draft pick. That wasn't Then he got franchise tag. And then when he became a free agent, the opportunity arose, and they reached out for him. Saquon had a whole bunch of other teams, and we're just like, oh my gosh, I hope you don't pick none of them so far, because it's his decision, And it's like, so what you thinking? What's your levels of thoughts? And he's like, I think I'm gonna keep it close to home. But
That had to be music to your ears as a mom.
yeah, yeah, and I'm so glad he chose that because he has his kids, you know what I mean, and you have Anna parents stay in Scranton, and then you have his parents, and we're here in the Lehigh Valley area, and it's like it was just a no brainer, because he don't want it would have been more or less like okay when it's off season I would have to bring my kids, fly my kids to go visit this, their family, the grandparents. So he was raised close knit, so it was no brainer to we go to his house. His siblings have little birthday parties bring in they bring in the kids. Yes.
Yeah, you're very blessed to have them all close like
Right,
that, and then
right.
you still enjoy all of that. I'm sure when he was up as a free agent, you were like, "Oh my goodness, he could so wind up,
Yeah,
anywhere,
yeah.
Denver, California,
hmm
like anywhere."
And everybody used to be like, if he goes this place or that place, are you gonna move? And I'm like, that's not my life. That's his
Yeah,
life.
yeah,
That's not my life. That's his life.
yeah.
I'll be doing a lot of, how you see the people on FaceTime or you see the commercials and they Skyping and talking to their
That was
grandkids.
you, yeah,
That would have been me. But I also like to travel, so I probably would have been in visiting, but not
yeah.
moving. No,
Well, it's a good thing you like to travel.
that is true. That is true.
What has it been like to see Saquon as a dad?
Oh, it's been awesome, I see a lot of his father in him, and I'd be like, okay, like, I'm a little more lenient, you know what I mean? So it's like, let the kid eat the cookie, you know what I mean?
You get to do that as the grandmother, right?
Right. And it's like, well, no, this first and that first, and I'm like, but he's an awesome dad, he's traveling a lot, he's training, he's working out, so when he is home, just to see him interacting with his children and throwing his son around and playing with Jada and their little handshakes, it's like me and Daddy and Mommy got movie night, and he's taking the kids to the movie. He tried that with SJ, but he got to wait to get a little older. It didn't work
How
out.
old is the baby now?
He's two.
Oh, he's 2. Okay, the youngest is 2.
He's
Okay,
two.
yeah, yeah,
So he's an amazing father.
yeah.
And it's so cute to hear Jada like, Grandma, my daddy is 2'6", and this is when she was younger. And I'm like, yes, sweetie, your daddy is 2'6". She's like, why everybody's calling my daddy's name? I'm like,
If
but
you
now
only
she's
knew, right?
yeah, now she's older, so
Yeah, yeah. What is it like when you're in the stands and you see people either, or maybe you're just out somewhere, you see people lining up for autographs, and just the way that people react to this kid that you gave birth to?
it's me. It's good. It's a good feeling, It's like I think you should. I used to be like, oh, sometimes this can be annoying, only because I do think that people tend to forget that these athletes, even if they actors, actress, they're human and they have lives and they also want to be able to go outside and do things and with their kids and not be bothered. So I had to like fall back on that, but I used to sometimes get upset like, okay, let's just let them be today, like, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? Just
yeah.
let
That
them
there's a
be.
balance in that. Yeah,
Yeah, but it is amazing. It's just, we always say people gonna talk about you when you're doing good and people gonna talk about you when you're doing bad. I was put it as, I think probably start worrying when they not acknowledging you anymore. You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah.
mean? So
What do they say? No pub or all publicity is good publicity or
right,
whatever.
right,
Yeah.
right. So as long as you're being talked about, that means you're still a hot item.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. You mentioned that he would, as a kid, like watch the football with his dad and talk about, he had big aspirations and mama, I'm going to buy you a house and all this. And you're like, okay, is there a fun way that he has celebrated your family or with him, all the good things that are coming his way? Is there a fun story about maybe something he did gift you with or that has been fun just having this kid in the NFL?
I I mean, can't really say there's one particular moment. I think the only particular moment for me, him going in the NFL, and he didn't even get in the NFL yet. He came home from college. You coming back home now. 3 years away. I mean, he came home every holidays and stuff like that, only when football permitted. But when the last time he came home, and this is before he went to Florida to go train, he sat on the couch and he looked around. And our place was, I mean, it was small, but it was warm, loving, and family oriented. But he's big, and so he sat on the couch and he looked around and he's like, his friend Nick, mother is a realtor. And he gets on his phone. He's like, Nick, have your mother call my mother. And he's like, let's get this house. And it's like, and it was like, oh wow. And then within probably the next week or two, me and his dad was out with Diana, and we're looking for houses.
My goodness. That's so sweet. And that's really before he went into the
That's
NFL?
before. Mm-hmm.
Oh my
It
goodness.
was
So the house
before.
where you live now, he kind of instigated that, you
Right.
getting a new house?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
really special.
Yep. And he already knew who his financial team was going to be. So he had all of this in place. Like, this is what I'm going to do. And I know I'm going to do this. And this is how it's going to work. And, he's like, yep. I'm like, okay, okay, we're going to go look for the house. But like, how is this house getting paid for? You know?
Exactly.
And the good thing of that was he's like, oh, I know where I'm going. So we got it. It initially wasn't like bought out. We had for the first couple of months was like a mortgage.
Yeah, yeah.
And then once he got drafted, got his contract, then he's like, okay, house paid for.
Oh my goodness. Wow. And just to not have that worry, for you
Hmm.
guys. And I mean, that's incredibly kind and thoughtful of him and wanting to pay back to his parents, who
Hmm.
obviously gave him a good upbringing. Wow, that's pretty special. So did you go to the parade, the celebration, all of that?
Did the parents? We wasn't. Well, I don't know who was on a float, but we was more. They took and had us in a art museum. So we was. If you seen, I don't know, like if you was able to see the parade, they had these yellow buses going down. The
Yeah,
parade,
yeah.
we was on a yellow bus. It was like we was with staff members and their families, staff members' families, and staff members and other people who paid for that experience or whatever, and then the players and some of the players' families, and then we ended up at the art museum, which was very good for me because we was indoors,
Yeah.
and we came outside when it was time for the ceremony.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we got to watch them on the come down on the floats and stuff on TV in the screens in the museum. It was awesome.
That's really awesome. When you look at Saquon and just kind of this life that he's been able to build, and now he's got the family. I think he's getting married soon, and just all of just the blessings, I guess, that have come his way. What are you most proud of when you think about Saquon as a person?
I'm proud that he accomplished his dreams. I'm proud that he put forth the effort, the hard work, the determination to make his dreams come true. He always said he was going to go in the NFL. He went in the NFL. He said he was going to get a Super Bowl ring one day. It took 7 years, but he's got a Super Bowl ring. He's going to get one. They didn't get it yet. So that's what I'm proud of. That his dreams came true. Because it wasn't our dreams, it's his dreams. We want the best for all our children. I don't care if they work in a 9 to 5 every day, and able to pay their bills. That's my dream for them. Able to pay your bills, stay healthy, and take care of your kids.
Yeah.
That's the American dream for me. But I'm glad that he got to experience and determination and hard work to make his dreams come true.
Exactly.
That's my smile. That's my happiness.
When you look back at this past season, which was incredible, I mean, breaking records left and right. And it's so funny. My sons, who are huge football fans, they get like, you got to ask Saquon's mom felt about when they sat him and when he could have hit the rushing yards at the end of the season. How did his mom feel?
Well, it wasn't. It was what more so not me. It was his father. He's like, come on, because that name would have lived on forever. It would have been out there. But they had bigger pitches, and they had bigger fish to fry. So it's like you better win the Super Bowl.
And he
You
did.
better win this Super Bowl. And I was like, I just knew. I said, okay, this didn't work out for him to break that record. Oh, they're gonna win the Super Bowl. I was like, it's written already.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. Well, it's been so fun to talk to you, and
It's
I
good
just
talking to
love the
you.
story, and I just have a unique perspective in doing this podcast and getting to talk to moms, and it really is a journey for the whole family. It's not just Saquon's journey, even though he's the driver of the bus and the one who's got to make it all happen. But it doesn't happen without parents who don't believe in you and encourage you.
And and with that being said, I speak to a lot of the NFL players' mothers as well, and it's like we as parents really don't get recognized.
Amen.
We don't get recognized. You see more of the glammy girlfriends and glittery wives, and it's like, yeah, they're there, but majority of them wasn't there.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
they're
weren't
there.
there to in the days that got them to the point where they are able
Right,
to, where the I
right.
love how you said it, the blingy wives
Yeah.
are getting to reap the benefits of how you raised this kid, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah,
And it's like, yeah, they're there and there's a support system and it's like, okay, yeah, I don't think they're the only support system. I mean, don't get me wrong, you have a lot of NFL players, athletes that's not close with their families. You have some that wasn't raised, by their parents. That's true indeed, but then
absolutely.
but a good portion you have that was, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? And it's like, okay, like yeah, forgetting about the most important people. I spoke to a lot of mothers and, talking with the mothers, and it's like, yeah, we haven't even been on the field. And it's like, hmm, I don't think that's fair that I think the NFL need to change a lot of the rules and regulations, but I don't think that's fair that we are part of the reason that they are where they are. And for you not to be able to experience that, and like I said, yeah, it's cute. You get they want to glamify the wags, how they call them, what the wives is wearing. But I'm like, you haven't been on the field. You haven't, experienced these things with your child. I'm fortunate that I got to experience a lot of things.
For sure. Yeah.
With that being said, the only reason me and his father and our team got to experience a lot of things is because, we run Saquon's Foundation. You know what I mean? But for the ones that's not doing that, and it's like, yeah, I got in yesterday. I flew in, and it's like all you could do is sit there, and it's like a lot of them be like, half the time we don't even see them after the game, And I think like yes, wives is important, and yes, I know what the Bible says, cleave to your wives and everything, but also, I have mixed feelings about that, and I just feel that a lot they need to do a lot better with acknowledging the parents. That has to come from the players as well, you know.
You were the one driving him, you and your
Hmm.
husband, to Pee Wee football,
Right.
to extra training, early morning weightlifting, whatever it was, it doesn't happen without y'all.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I always say, how would I say it? Your parents is forever. Yeah, we're gonna die. You know what I mean? The whole circle of life is eventually y'all gonna take care of us. I tell mines, make sure I'm in one of those nice senior citizen homes that do bingo and got the little dancing and stuff like. Because I don't want to live with none of them. N- Relationships don't last how it used to be. Back in our grandparents' times and stuff. It come and go. One day in the media, you see them with Mary, and then the next day in the media, you see them with Michelle. It's like, they it doesn't last all the time, you know. But I don't know. We'll see.
Hey, let's wrap up by you telling me a little bit about the foundation. I forgot to ask you about that, and that's such important work that you're able to, he chooses to use this platform for such a good cause.
Yeah, I mean, we still like a lot of work in progress. We're not exactly where we want to be, but we have done a lot. It's basically he started it to serve underprivileged youth, and their families, athletic wise and academic wise. We're going to be, hopefully this is our year. No, not even hopefully, this year it is going to happen. We want to, our
Yes,
main
ma'am.
goals was to like start giving out scholarships, so that's what we want to do, give out scholarships. But we did a lot of things, we don't put a lot of things in the media. People be like, oh well, what has this foundation done? Well, there was someone who was homeless. There was someone, there was families that we put in hotels for weeks at a time. No, but we don't use our platform and run to the news or to the media like, oh, look what we're doing. There's people that reached out to me where parents didn't have Pampers. They needed milk. Single moms didn't know if they was going to continue to be able to keep the roof on their head, over their head. They didn't have stuff for their children. We do things like that. And me being a mom, those things matter more to me than things happen to be publicized,
Yeah, yeah. Well, you're the
So
perfect person to run the foundation too and get to help other people. And you've been there and you know what the needs are and how to get them met. So that's pretty awesome. Tanya, I loved meeting you. This was really fun.
thank you. It was awesome meeting you as well.
Yeah. Well, good luck. I hope to see you in the Super Bowl again.
Yes, next
Exciting.
year, next year.
There you go. Let's do it back to back. I mean, the Chiefs did it, right?
Right, right.